So for the syllabus, which you have in front of you here, the idea is the class meets 9:25 to 10:40. You can kind of read through the requirements. The textbook. I can't say I know a whole lot about the textbook because I was just hired 2 weeks ago. But this is the textbook. We will use the textbook as situations permit. And basically what we're interested in knowing are the assignments. Basically, we have tests in this class. And in the tests, you don't show up to class on the days we have the test. Open note, open book. The only rule I ask is that you do it on your own. You don't talk with anybody else in the class or get any outside assistance. You can go online and do things. They're usually kind of essay types of things. You might be asked to do things that are kind of cognitive neuroscience oriented, giving cases, giving problems. You get partial credit for giving reasonable answers. There's usually a best answer, but that's kind of the way I work things. Class participation, very important. My teaching philosophy. Am I actually recording? Good. Teaching philosophy. I follow a philosophy called constructivism. Does anybody know what constructivism is about? Has anybody heard that word before? So the way I go about it, how many of you have classes where you kind of get the death by PowerPoint situation? But in those classes, does that actually lead to effective learning? No, there's no research evidence that it's actually called the empty vessel theory of teaching and learning. If I know everything about cognitive neuroscience and I tell you everything I know about it, that your ship is going to get full and you'll know everything about it. My approach is constructivism. I want to know what you know. I want you to share. I want you to feel open to share. Are wrong answers okay? Yes, they're perfectly fine. I want to know what you know. I want to find out what your knowledge and schemas are. My job is to want to know what you know and then build upon it. And so in the face-to-face class, we'll have these open discussions about various issues. For those of you in the online class, I have discussion boards for 1 week where I'll ask a lot of open-ended questions, see what people know, and then kind of share the facts after that as the case may be. And so we'll have discussions. Bring your notebooks or your computers to class, take notes on what we cover, and then on the test, you basically will have questions that will be based on a lot of the stuff from the class discussion. Gazaniga is a very famous cognitive neuroscientist, so I'll map that to what we're covering in the class as far as the syllabus, and you can take the test, open note, open book, and if you need more time, basically I allocate as much time as you want. If you do have special learning needs, you need to let me know about that. That's fine. Tests are usually open. I post it on Blackboard, and it's basically you have all day to make a Word file and then post it. You can't get any feedback from me or anybody else, but you can post it, and if you are working on it and then you have to go away and you just send me an email and you say, I couldn't complete it right now, I can complete it later, just send me an email. And that should be sufficient as the case may be. Does that make sense for everyone? It'll be the same for the online version of the class. It'll be posted for a day and you won't show up to class.
Is PDF form acceptable?
Yeah, PDF is fine. If it's a PDF situation, then what you'll probably do is you'll probably scan it in some way and then just upload the files so I can actually see your work. And that'll be fine. I'll have rubrics to basically grade the 4 or 5 questions that will be on the test. So you'll do that. So class participation is very important. You'll get a midterm assessment of that, basically saying, were you here at each class? Did you contribute to the class discussion? You'll self-assess that, and then I'll look at that, and then the same thing at the final. Lab assignments. We'll be doing a couple of, since this meets the research requirement for the class, you'll be writing kind of 2 partial APA papers. The first paper will be a results section. We'll actually do that experiment today. The second one, it'll be a results and discussion. And then you'll actually, at the end of the semester, write kind of a final research proposal. You'll have 10 citations, state the nature of what you're interested in looking at, and kind of coming up with an idea and a proposal. If you look on the back page, it kind of has the calendar. We basically have a couple of classes every week. And then you're given an online test, and then at the end of the semester, we basically get into the final research proposal, doing a literature review, doing APA style, and writing the proposal. Comments or questions about this situation? Go ahead, please.
When are those two papers going to be due?
They will be due, I'll have them posted. Yeah, I didn't put that on here, did I? Usually the papers will be due kind of the Friday before, well, let's see, the Friday before the Tuesday class. I'll make sure that's spelled out for you, but we're going to do a little experiment today, and then from the experiment we do today, the idea will be we'll collect some data and do some statistics on it, and I'll give you time in class to help write them up, and we'll do them. And it shouldn't be that difficult to do. You can send me drafts. I'm very much into having drafts sent to me. Just let me know the class and the situation, and I will look at it. I might even have a situation where I might actually have you post things on Blackboard and give you multiple drafts if you want to do that, and then I can have my little rubric and kind of grade and assess things. I'm looking for motivated people who want to learn, and it doesn't matter where you start. If you feel like you're not very good at doing a lot of this stuff, if you send me a couple of drafts, I'll help you get it better and better, and so your end product will be probably a pretty reasonable grade. Other comments or questions? Okay, so that kind of covers. Go ahead, please. Yeah.
On the front, it says that there are 6 tests, but on the schedule on the back, it only lists 5.
Yeah, I'm going to have to rectify that situation. Thank you for noting that. I think it'll just be 5. I've got to kind of go back into this. Yes, since this is one of those things that when you're hired 10 days ago, you kind of come up with a syllabus and then you kind of develop things. So I will go and make a note, and there'll be little changes and little things. I was just happy to have my computer up for today and be able to show you things that are there. And so I'll try to fix things as we go along. So I'll rectify that situation. Thank you. Go ahead.
Also, does the final research proposal take the place of the final exam?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, isn't that disappointing that there'll probably be no final test? I know, that's completely heartbreaking and heart-wrenching, I think, I would imagine. Okay, other comments or questions? And I like comments or questions. These are good things. Pointing out flaws. Did she just point out a flaw? How did I react to her for pointing out that flaw? Did I say, shut up and don't say anything again, and I'm glad you're sitting on that side of the class, Brittany? No, I didn't. Go ahead.
I was just wondering when it would be due, the research proposal.
It'll be due during finals,
Okay.
as the case may be. And the other thing I want to say, and I want to go on record as saying that, I like to be mildly amusing, try to be funny sometimes. If I ever say anything that offends you, I can be a little sarcastic, but it is not my intent in any way to say anything that is damaging to you at all. And if I ever say anything that you find particularly offensive, please let me know. That's really, really important for me. And the last thing that I'll share, not related to the syllabus, but more on the personal side, I told you I like to do swimming. This morning I was swimming at Green Ridge Recreation Center in Roanoke, kind of a half mile. I swim in the morning. I like to do the hikes. Used to love doing long bicycle rides. I told you about the bike ride from Binghamton to Edison. Being the chair of the State Asthma Coalition, I had this great idea in the summer of 2013. May, and you don't want to write any of this down, May is National Bike Month, and it's also National Asthma Month. So in May of 2014, I was actually going to take a one-day bicycle ride from Roanoke to the asthma capital of the country. Does anybody know what the asthma capital of the country is? Richmond. So that's actually about 180 miles, kind of go up Route 11, cut over to Fishersville, over Afton Mountain, and then 250 down to Richmond. And 8 months before that, on September 8th, 2013, I had already biked from Roanoke to Fairfield. You guys know where Fairfield is? It's just a little, north of Lexington. So I had already done a 120-mile ride, and that was 8 months before the 180. But something happened kind of bad 2 days later. I was just biking to Jefferson College of Health Science. I've been biking since New Jersey in the 70s. And something really bad happened. I was biking to school. It was only 7 miles. The wind was kind of in my eyes, and the wind sheared my eyes, and I kind of closed my eyes, and I fell asleep. And that was a bad scene. I fell asleep. I always wear my helmet. I've been wearing my helmet since growing up in New Jersey, because you always wear a helmet in New Jersey, of course. But I was wearing my helmet, but I smashed, and I smashed bad. I had a cerebral hemorrhage. My helmet saved my life. I was in a coma for a week. I've been very blessed to recover from that fully. That was 4 years ago now. I took a 100-mile bike ride actually 2 weeks ago when I got the job here, because I was so happy and elated about that. And then I went back 3 blocks from my house, and thank God for the blessing of the miracle that I was able to recover. So I like to consider myself a constructivist teacher, helping people build, humanistic as well. So if I say anything that's, that pisses you off or gets you offended, it is not my intention to do that. Please let me know. I want to kind of have some fun and do some enjoyable things in here, but that's kind of the nature of the class. Any other comments or questions? Good questions, good comments. Go ahead.
So, for the 6 or 5 tests, those are due at midnight on that day?
Yeah, the probable way, given the class meeting in the morning, it'll probably be open in the morning. I found when I was teaching at Jefferson College. So I've actually been a professor since 1991. So when I did this at Jefferson College, if it's a this class starts at 9:25, I'll probably open it up early in the morning, like at 6 or 7 o'clock. I'll have it open probably till 5. If you need more time than that, then you can just let me know. But it'll kind of be up all day. As long as it's your own work and your own ideas, that's kind of the main thing. And I'm very flexible. And if an emergency happens, you need to take it on another day, that's not the end of the world either. If it's a Tuesday, Thursday class, though, it'll probably be pretty important to finish it. The tests are usually on Tuesdays. Finish it before Thursday, as the case may be. Other questions? Go ahead.
So the tests do they correspond to the modules or chapters in the book?
More to the lectures. Since I just learned I was teaching this class 2 weeks ago, I've actually not looked at the book too much because I didn't know what the book was until I decided that we worked out an agreement that I would be teaching this class. So that was a good thing. So the book, in most of my classes, the way I do my teaching is the book is kind of a useful supplement. So as I'm going through things, I'll add book information in, and then on the test, there'll be questions that you can use book information. Lecture information will be kind of primary for you, and if you find other internet resources on such things, I could ask you to go and look things up, and that's perfectly fine, but just don't talk to others in the class. Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll stop that recording there.